What's good, everyone, and welcome back to Kaya's Commentary. And if you're new here, welcome to Kaya's Commentary. This is a podcast that offers commentary on pop culture topics, real world issues, anything in between, and maybe even some advice every now and then. Before we get down to it, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya R. Pennington, and you can follow Kaya's Commentary on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya's Commentary. Also, be sure to hit the follow/subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when new videos drop. Also, I've changed my lighting setting, so I have it up and then angled up so it's not just beaming down on me. And the window is still the window, but I've altered that as well. So if this lighting comes out like I wanted to in this video, our only real issue left is the actual reflection of the screen and the camera in my glasses. Um, like I said, I'm determined to make it work with my glasses, and I just fear contacts to the point that I don't even have them. I thought about getting them, but it's just something about just putting something in my. So I'm determined to make it work. And so if the lighting comes out like I want it to, this will be our only real obstacle left, and we'll work on that. Also, you may hear my cat, especially for those who listen, because my microphone picks up more on audio than it does on video, outside sounds. So you may hear my cat doing zoomies in his cage and whatnot. He is on one this morning, y'all. He is on one this morning. So he wants to sit here and have my attention when I'm recording. So you may hear him, in which case I apologize on Kit Kit's behalf. With that, let's kick it into our first segment, What Drives Me? Book Aggravation Edition, where I give my commentary on something that drives me, but book aggravations. So, and I've made videos about this before on TikTok when I drop the midweek videos, but the one night stand pregnancy trope, I just thought it was common knowledge that these tropes are trash. These tropes are trash, they're not romantic, they're illogical, and they're unfathomable. And, I thought that was the case. And so on Twitter, I saw somebody defending the pregnancy trope. They were like, yeah, no, it's actually a good trope. And then somebody quoted that and was like, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know. It's something about the fact that they're missing the first couple of years of the child's life and then coming in and realize that, oh my God, you have one. And then it's like, oh, now you have to get, and it sounds sarcastic. It sounds sarcastic when I say it aloud. But I didn't read any type of sarcasm in it when I read it. And I know my reply was sarcastic because I quoted it and was like, yeah, there's just something so romantic about a one night stand that turns into an accident that you keep that makes me realize you and this child in this life are what I want. Even though if I didn't know anything about this child, I really was already going on to the one night stand with Jessica from accounting. Like, I just thought it was common knowledge that these were trash. And I'm always typically on the side of social media where we can all agree these tropes are trash. So to see somebody defending it and then to see somebody defending it and adding in the one night stand trope, I will tell y'all several times that I try not to judge. Like I try not to shame because what get you going. But I'm not even gonna tell y'all that bold face lie no more. I like any other human being and very judgmental, especially about the books that you read. Now you get shame from me, and then you'll get a if you like it, I love it type judgment. This is one of those if you like it, I love it type judgments. Now my stance has always been I know that one night stands happen and that one night stands can turn into pregnancies that you keep. However, I will sit here and believe in goblins, ghouls, ghosts, or vampires before I sit here and believe a one night stand turned romance. Like it's not fathomable to me. It's illogical to me. Like we had a one night stand 10 years ago, but that one meow meow, that one woof woof is the one that I just cannot stop thinking of. Or we have a one night stand as strangers don't know nothing about each other, but like that's health wise not even safe. Or we have a one night stand that turns into a pregnancy that makes me realize, oh, you're the one that I want and we should get together for this child. That's not healthy. That's not healthy for the child or for y'all. And it's not romantic at all because if that child wasn't there, there would be nothing there for you. There would be nothing. It started out as a one night stand, and y'all both realized and recognized that y'all were gonna go about y'all ways after one night stand. I can give it a one night stand if it's like y'all are in the same circle and y'all dislike each other, so it's really a rival to love, and then you'd have a one night stand and give into your passions and realize that y'all actually kind of like each other but don't really want to admit it, so y'all just continuously hook up. I get that, but just random one night stands turned pregnancies. If you like it, I love it. You like it? You like it? I'm sorry, y'all. I thought we would all acknowledge that if any there was a trope that could go, this one could go. Like I thought this was common knowledge. If you like it though, I love it. But do you actually like it? Just to see people defend it, it was weird because I was like, oh, I guess we actually, and I guess it's not so far out there that people defend it because I guess it's popular enough. My book site that I have, BookBub, yo, the books you recommended me lately, BookBub. I don't know who told you that I wanted this stuff, but I don't. I don't want the pregnancy. I don't want the one night stand. I don't want the dad's best friend who looking at this young, just barely legal girl that really should be nothing more than a surrogate daughter to him. I don't want the older best friend, brother best friend who looking at this little girl barely legal who really should be nothing more than a surrogate sister for him. Like, if y'all like these tropes, I love them, but keep it away from me. Like, to see people defend these kind of tropes, like, wow. Y'all actually mess with those, huh? I just thought we acknowledged that these were weird tropes, that these were. If you like it, I love it. With that, that's a quick little What Drives Me Book Aggravation edition. With that, let's kick it into our next segment, What's on TV, where I give my commentary on a TV show I've seen. Today's show, Apple TV's See. Now, Apple TV does a horrible job at marketing their TV shows. Like the morning show, I had only seen one real commercial on TV for that, and that was back in 2019 when it first started. And then I hadn't seen any real commercials for that since maybe on Twitter for the like from the actual official The Morning Show account. Mind you, I got social media in like 2017 or 2018, and then I got Twitter in like 2020 or 2021. So Apple does a horrible job at marketing their stuff, which is wild because they actually have some really good stuff. And so, as I completed season one and season two of the morning show and waited for season three, I was like, well, what could I watch in the interim to like, gain my attention? And as I was scrolling Apple TV, I saw the show See, and from the description to the promo photos, it kind of intrigued me. So let's get into it. I really think before I get into it, I think it deserves just as much attention as the morning show. Like I said, their marketing team sucks, so I don't even know if people talk about it like that. I haven't seen people talk about it like that, and even though the show was it only had 3 seasons and then it was done, I think it deserves just as much of attention as the morning show or any other big show on Apple TV that gets a little bit more attention. Let's get into it. So, main characters, we have Baba Voss, we have Queen Kane, who I will later refer to as Sybil because that's her first name. Margaret, who is Sybil's sister, but we'll come back to that, and Baba Voss's wife. Kofun and Haniwa, Margaret's children, but not Baba Voss's children, and I'll come back to that. Bo Lion, who is a person in the tribe with Baba Voss. Paris, who's also somebody in Baba Voss's tribe, and Tamakta John. So it opens and it's a post-apocalyptic world. And in this world, vision has been taken away, and it is rare to have it. And of course, anything not understood is feared. So now people who actually have vision are heretics, and they're to be feared. And they're hunted down by witch hunters, by Queen Kane's order. And really, even before her time, I guess, but Queen Kane, Sybil, she's like, anybody with vision is to be brought to me, not really to be taken out. Now, of course, witch hunters, soldiers, they do sometimes take people out, but really, Queen Kane is like there to be brought to me, which we're going to come back to. So it opens with Baba Voss and his tribe fighting against the witch hunters. Like I said, these are people looking to seek out those with vision. At the same time, Haniwa and Kofu, twins, are being born with the help of the wise Paris. Paris is really like a guide for Baba Voss. Like I said, they're not Baba Voss's kids. They are Jera Morel, who is a sighted person, and he knew Margaret from way back when she was still like a princess, and she kind of ran off from that life. She tried to take the throne after her dad's passing, and her dad wanted her to take the throne, but she didn't have enough power at the time, so she ran. And Jera Morel has ran, and he has been like really kind of hunted down by Sybil ever since. So when the kids, Haniwa and Kofu, come of age, they read the books that Jorah has left him, and they go and search to find him. Jorah kind of came to Baba Voss, and he was like, hey, when my kids come of age, give them these books. What is it, 1984 or 1989? George Orwell, I forget the name. I think he might give them the Bible too. He gives them science books. He gives them all the books that we now take for granted. And he tells Baba Voss, tell them that they are to read these, gain the knowledge, and when they come of age, come find me. Baba Voss, although he cares for the children, he's like, yeah, they probably should have some type of connection with you, so I promise you that. Now, Margaret is hesitant. Like, she wants the kids to go along and get along. So if people find out that they can see, they're all going to be outcast and hunted, right? So she's hesitant about allowing the children to read the books and to go find Jorah. Baba Voss is like, well, they should gain this knowledge and they should have a connection with him, but I will do what you want. Paris is the one who's like, no. She gives the books to the kids and she's like, you have to go find your father. Here's the knowledge that he left you. So the kids and Baba Voss and somewhat of his tribe, they end up leaving their home when the witchfinders find them. And they go in search of a new one, guided by messages Jorah left. He left all these messages and he built bridges to help the tribe find a new home. So Baba Voss wants to protect the twins, but he, like I said, he knows eventually that they have to follow their own path, and he seems okay with it. Margaret is the one that's like, go along, get along, these are my children, they're your children too, but like, I'm a mother and I want to protect them. Paris, again, she tries to convince Margaret to be okay with it. So season 1, like I said, there are 3 seasons, and season 1 consists of them mostly traveling to be safe or to like keep the twins safe. They travel to their new home. They travel to this, it's really a big party. I don't know if I can really say that, but like it's really a big party, and they're like procreation party. And Haniwa and Baba Voss, they're of age, and Haniwa and Kofun, they're of age now, but they like, Haniwa is the rebel, Baba Voss. Haniwa is the rebel, and Kofun is really kind of like the shy one that's like, oh no, I want to like go along to get along, and I don't want to get in any trouble. But they go traveling after their parents and their tribe and end up getting kidnapped by slavers. And so Baba Voss and Margaret have to find them, which is where we find out, Margaret finds out that the kids can write and read, and she gets upset. Queen Kane, Sybil, she desperately wants to find Haniwa and Kofun, who are Jorah's children. And honestly, everyone else seems to have an obsession with Vision for one reason or another. Everyone else in the council, they seem to have an obsession with Vision for one reason or another. Oh, it's heresy. Oh, it'll save us. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Sybil ends up destroying the kingdom because they start to question her. Now, they live in this water plant, this abandoned water plant, and so she floods. When people are like, yeah, we have to usurp her, she floods it and kills everybody. She takes out everybody in the kingdom, and then she goes traveling on her own to find Jorah. He's her former lover, and so she wants sighted children. That's her goal. She wants to have sighted children. She ends up being kidnapped, and Tamaktajan goes looking for her. He's the general. He's the one that's like her right-hand man. He doesn't know that she flooded the town yet, the kingdom yet. So when he finds out she's been kidnapped and she's gone, he goes looking for her. As Baba Voss and his family travels to find Jorah, they meet another one of his children, Boots. Now, Jorah just been dropping sighted children everywhere. Just bloop, 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 bloop. He just been dropping sighted children everywhere. But Boots is not to be trusted. There's something about him, he not to be trusted. So he does end up betraying them. He's like, it can only be one. He finds out that Margaret is the princess, and so he goes, I think he finds that out after he betrays them, or before he betrays them. He's like, there can only be one of us, and so he's like, I'll protect your wife. I'll go protect Margaret, but y'all cannot be here. Tamaktajan, who's now met with Margaret, he knows who Margaret is. He is the one person that she needed his backing, and he didn't give it to her. And so they end up finding Sybil and rescuing her, but the Witchfinders and Tamaktajan turn on her when they find out what she's done to the kingdom. And Margaret and Tamaktajan end up trying to usurp her. He's like, I should have backed you then. I knew she wasn't right, but you were inexperienced and you weren't ready either. So they end up about to usurp her, but Margaret ends up taking out Tamaktajan. She stabs him like in the chest and he presumably is gone now. And Margaret is like, no. I said Margaret did that. Sybil takes out Tamakta John, and Sybil tells Margaret, it's okay, we'll rule. She's really not to be trusted because she won't power. But she's like, oh, we'll rule, don't worry about him. The twins, they do make it to Jermorel. And so he's like, yeah, I'm showing these all these things. We have electricity, we have showers, we have this, we have that, we have all these books. Haniwa is so cool with it, right? She's a rebel and she wants to learn, and she's taken in by all this knowledge. Kofun is also taken in by the knowledge, but he's also like, it's something off about you. He has this thought in the back of his head that we don't know anything about you, which, thinking about it here and now, I have a note in my notes, but thinking about it here and now, the fact that he doesn't trust Jorah Morel, he has the right intention not to trust Jorah Morel, and ends up trusting somebody else in season 2 that he also, same excuse, does not know. Stupid. Anyway, we're gonna come back to that. So, Jorah Morel, even though he does care for his children, he cares for sight and knowledge more. So he made a deal with Baba Voss's evil brother, Edo Voss, who really kind of backs him as far as money-wise, and he sells Haniwa to Edo Voss. And so Baba, who was making his way back to another tribe with Paris and Bolion got injured, and so he was taking Bolion back to this tribe, and this tribe was like, she can stay, but y'all got to go. Y'all are a danger to us. So he turns back for his kids. He has this feeling, and he turns back, and he ends up finding Kofun, who's like, yo, he sold off Haniwa. So Kofun and Baba Voss and Paris go searching for Margaret and Kofun, and that's season 1. Season 2, Baba and Kofun, they travel to Baba Voss's old tribe, his original tribe. Baba Voss leaves Kofun and Paris at this center point to go alone because he doesn't want to lose any more of his kids or his friends. Haniwa is a prisoner, but she quickly realizes that her guard, Ren, she can also see. And so they eventually hit it off, she and Ren do. Baba Voss gets captured. I don't know if that's purposeful or not, because Edo Voss has a sighted child that he does his bidding for, and Baba Voss sees that this child sees him, but he's not going to take out a child. And so he gets captured. And we find out that Tamakta John is still alive too. He was stabbed and seemed to have bled out at this desert where they were when they found Sybil. And then he ends up being alive. I don't know how he got into their prison, but he and Baba Voss have to work together, and Baba Voss makes it clear that I don't like you, I don't trust you, you've hunted me. And Tamakta John makes it clear that I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. Like, I'm not asking for your forgiveness, but we can get each other out of here, and that's what I would like to do. Margaret is my queen, so I would like to kind of like protect her, but like, I'm not asking for your forgiveness. Sybil and Margaret make a new kingdom and basically usurp the town from Harlan, who, hey, is a family friend. BT Dubs, when I saw who Harlan was, I ain't even gonna hold y'all, I almost shut it off. And I try so hard not to have beef with actors, because I'm not gonna have beef with an actor over beef with another actor when I don't know either. That's Stan behavior, and I'm not with it. So I almost shut it off, but then I realized that's Stan behavior, and I'm not with it. And I actually like the character of Harlan. Harlan probably had to be my favorite character, but we'll come back to that. Sybil plans to rule by herself, but like, she keeps her sister around, but she makes it clear that, it's me, I'm still the queen. Harlan has a crush on Margaret, but he does offer to marry Sybil to keep some type of control over his town, which he does truly care about. Sybil, who has outlawed sight for the thousands of years, hundreds of years, her reign and all of this, she's outlawed sight, and now she claims she has a sighted baby by Boots, who she later takes out when she loses the baby. He's like, oh, I'll give you another one. She's like, nah. She has a little slight thing that she has within her wrist, and she'll take it out and you. So she does that to Boots. Harlan and Margaret get married. It's a scheme for when Margaret usurps Sybil, because Margaret's goal still remains her family, but Harlan does have a crush on her, and so he like, hey yo, if you wanna relieve some stress, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to that. And Margaret's like, boy, I very much happily married. Her family, they do reunite. They find out she's alive and that she's a princess and married, which sets Baba Voss off. He doesn't know how to handle it, and especially since Harlan and his quips, like, Baba Voss doesn't know how to handle it, and so Harlan has several quips. He's like, "You," Baba Voss is like, "Say another word and I'll take you out," and Harlan is like, "And leave our wife a widow." Or he's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna make you finish that sentence." Or he's like, "Let's talk sleeping arrangements. I'm open to group activities," and it's so funny. Like the sarcastic, witty character is my bread and butter, and so like I said in my continuous Sleepy Hollow video, I really do think that that man is a talented actor. Like, I'm gonna give him his props. Like, he had to be my favorite character in the show. Sybil seduces Kofun. Guess don't covet thy wife's neighbor or nephew, as he is her nephew, isn't a thing. And it's so crazy to me that he let himself get close to Sybil like that. He's upset because Margaret lied about being a princess and they lived a hard life. And so he's like, oh, what else have you lied about? Maybe this person isn't as bad. But it's like, Jorah Morel. You didn't know him. But Margaret kind of talked a little highly of him, but at the same time, not much. But like, you didn't know him, but you had this instinct that something was off. Sybil, who's been like chasing you your entire childhood, and she blames it on Margaret. She's like, "Oh, I just wanted to get to know y'all, but she wouldn't let me." And so he's mad at Margaret, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And to be fair, she does like offer him some weed or something, so that kind of like loosens his consciousness. But at the same time, even sober, you're you're getting close to this person who's hunted you, who seems to have ulterior motives. Why did you not see that, Kofun? In season one, he was like naive but more tolerable. In season two and season three, oof. And the same goes for Haniwa. Like in season one, she's a rebel. She's too like quick with it, and she doesn't think things through. In season two, she's a bit more tolerable. Season three, but we're gonna come back to that. Kofun finds out that he's been duped and that she made it with him to give her a sighted child. He feels some type of way about that. Margaret, Harlan, and Tamakta John usurp Sybil. They've been planning this for a while, and so they finally do it. Baba Boss helps defend against an upcoming war that Sybil helped to start. They were trying to have peace talks with the neighboring villages because Sybil has been making all these deals and doing things, and she's owed punishment, and so they're trying to figure out the best way to do that. And then Sybil sends assassins in, which kind of ruins the peace talks, and so now they're really going to be at war, so they usurp Sybil, and now it's about, do they hand her over to them for them to do what they want to do to Sybil, or do they publicly take her out as a show of peace? Baba Voss, who this is also part of the war that they're having, they're trying to come to terms and be peaceful, and Baba Voss's brother, who doesn't want peace, he wants war with his brother because he got beef with him. So Baba Voss ends up taking out his brother, but he doesn't want to. His brother was so upset. The whole reason for their beef is that their dad ordered Baba Voss to take out his younger brother, and Baba Voss was like no, and that's why he leaves his tribe. And Ito Voss has such beef because he's like, you couldn't take out a child, and it's like, I feel like that's a stupid reason to beef, but like I feel like there's logic in it, but at the same time, it's like, is it cliche? It's not cliche. It's something that's weird. Sybil takes out Paris. She has a little thing in here that Paris is tending to her child, and she's like, hey, you won't have any type of chance to connect with this baby. And Sybil is like, you're not gonna take my baby, and you're not gonna take me. And that's another issue. Like, do we give Sybil to them knowing that she's pregnant and we have to, or do we wait till she has the baby and then? So she takes out Paris, and then Baba Voss leaves. He finds like politics too much, and he thinks Margaret is where she needs to be, or where she wants to be, but he just wants to go back to the mountains and live. So he leaves, and that's season 2. Season 3, Baba Voss is off in the woods with a friend. Margaret rules, and she finds out how hard it is. Sybil has her baby, and Kofun won't hardly touch it. He mad that he been duped. Everybody tries to talk him into it, from Margaret to Haniwa to Harlan. He just don't want to be a father. Margaret tries to quell another upcoming war to no avail. Harlan tries to sway the ambassador. The ambassador has feelings for him, so he's trying to sway her using special skills. Charlotte, don't really know where she came from, but I like her. She's like Haniwa's guard. I don't know, but she protects and defends Haniwa. And so I like her. And I also like Ren too. Ren comes back in. She felt like she was duped after Sybil betrayed them during the peace talks, and so Ren thought that Haniwa had a part in that. And then when Ito Voss was gone, she had a very real loyalty to Ito Voss because he took her in. So when Ito Voss was gone, she goes back to Haniwa. Baba Voss comes back to find out that the enemy has bombs, so that's why Bo Lion gets taken out by these bombs, and so this is when Baba Voss comes back to Harlan's little kingdom to tell them. He finds the baby and finds out whose baby it is, and he talks Kofu into doing what needs to be done. He also goes after Sybil when he finds out that Sybil took out Paris. And they're about to trade Sybil because she had the baby. There's no reason to keep her now. But then she's gone. And we find out later that Kofun helped to like hide her. He's like, oh, you're the mother of my child. So the child deserves to have some type of connection with you. Again, Jorah Morel, you didn't seem to think so. So why is, Hmm. She finds out the baby isn't sighted, which I guess is another reason that he kind of didn't really want the baby at first. And then she no longer cares, and she makes her escape. Honeywell, Kofun, and Baba Voss go to rescue the remaining children who are making bombs. These are Jorah Morel's sighted children who are making bombs. Harlan helps them out in his own way. Um, the ambassador is like, oh, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. You just need to be on our side. I care for you and I don't want you to die, so you just need to be on our side. So he played like he on their side, and then he double crossed them and helped Baba Voss. And they have to get back to the kingdom before the bombs get to the kingdom. So they try to take a shortcut to the kingdom, but they ended up being surrounded by cannibals, and Harlan dies. And I think that's so stupid because it's his shortcut. He's the one that's like, I know a shortcut, but it's real dangerous. How do we get out of this shortcut? Out of all the people in a little merry band who could have like been dragged away, he was really one of the ones that had to stay alive because it's his shortcut. It's his short. How do we get out of here without you, the guide now? They do end up making it back, and they find Sybil has allied with the season three's enemy, and she's coming back with the bombs. And Trown tries to escape, using little passageways that Harlan has, and Tamakta John tries to help, but the passageways, due to the bombing, it's really counterproductive, and all this rubble could come crashing down on us, so we end up having to go back to the town. Margaret finally confronts Sybil, and she gets her to like chill out for a minute to sway her. She starts singing Dream a Little Dream of Me. What is that song? She sings that to like lull Sybil into this dull state, and then she finally does what she needs to do and takes her out. And then they take on the army. And Baba Voss, he comes back, he ends up destroying the bombs. He goes on top of the bombs and hits it really hard, hit the top one really hard with a hammer, which takes out a lot of things, including him. And that's really like the end of the war. We have this dull moment, this lull where you try to pick up the pieces. Kofun leaves politics to raise his son. So they are there in politics and they find it very hard. And so Haniwa is still very much we are not the enemy. We need to be treated like everybody else, which is really her big fight in season three. And Kofun also is like, yo, you still have to think about the things that you say. But he ends up leaving politics to raise his son. Haniwa gets married to Ren, and then they both go leave to find another knowledge vault, Gemeral's original knowledge vault that he kept them in season one was destroyed here in season three. So they end up going to find another one with the rest of where the rest of Jorah children reside, and other people, of course. And then there's just Margaret and Tamakta John that remain. And that's pretty much it. My thoughts, Haniwa was a rebel who was too naive in season one. Like I said, I liked her better in season two, and then disliked her again in season three. She's just too rash. Like, sis, be logical. Logical about how you can't be a rebel and you just doing all of this and all, like, be logical. Kofun was more tolerable in season one, where he was kind of like shy, and then he was stupid in season two and season three. Like I said, also, I guess the rule of don't covet thy neighbor's wife or thy aunt doesn't apply, and he should have known better. Even outside of the fact that, you don't know her, but you do know she's been hunting you. He knows about genetics. He has these science books. He has all of this. He should know better than sit here and procreate with his aunt. Also, did he willingly blind himself in the end? He's talking to his mom and he's like, I can't do this politics things. I have to see the world the way my son sees it. And since my son is blind, I also have to be. And so when they show him again, he has like a bandage wrapped around his eyes. And his mom is like, are you sure there's no going back? As opposed to just tying a cloth around your eyes and just living that way, you literally tried to blind. Did you blind yourself? Mind you, in season one, really all throughout season two and whatnot, they're sighted people who have to live like the blind. So, like, I don't understand. I don't understand blinding yourself. You could have tied a cloth around you, even still, like, how does that better the world for your son? Like, you were given this gift of sight. It may seem like something that's, oh, it's too much, and too many problems are associated with it, but that's the best way. Getting people to like acknowledge sight and treat your son right, even though he's blind. He comes from a sighted parent, and then a queen who was evil and malicious, and being in there in politics, that's the best way that you could have done that with sight. Neither kid, Honeywell or Kofun, really wanted to be near politics, which is fair, certainly fair. But also to change the world like they both wanted to, a little politics is required, as opposed to running off to this knowledge vault. Bring it back with you. Or as opposed to like blinding yourself, stay and fight it through and change the laws and whatnot. Stupid. Hated that Harlan died. Didn't like unexpectedly liked his character, like I said, and so I have a rewrite for that. He comes back, so he gets taken out by a cannibal, but he passes away within that scene. But it's also like, what if he didn't? Like, what if he almost did, but he's still clinging on to a little bit of life? And then a healer who was already in this little cannibal hideout come out because they had finally been released too to see Harlan, and so they kind of drag him back to where they little camp is, and they heal him, and then he goes back after everything went down. And he finds that his town's rebuilding itself. Now, if he and Margaret get together, that is not what I'm saying. But he comes back. Because if Tamak the John can actually pass to the other side and then come back, Harlan can almost pass to the other side and come back. Harlan was my favorite character, and him dying I found stupid, and I did not like it. Rewrite, he comes back. Margaret, she was a bit annoying and not wanting to do what needed to be done with Civil. Oh, that's my, and even Baba Voss, like, oh, that's my brother. Oh, that's my sister. But your sister is harming the kingdom. But your brother told you he was gonna pimp out your daughter mercilessly, and then when she was too old to pimp out, he was gonna take her out. Take these people out before they live long enough to be your undoing. Speaking of Sybil, could not stand her. She talked, it was certainly a choice. It was certainly a choice what they decided to do with her character. It's like they said, play annoying and play self-righteous and play it to the extreme. And she said, I bet. It was a choice either from the actress or from the creators, but they seemed to like it because they kept her for all 3 seasons. But when she talked like this, I am the chosen one, so I will do what needs to be done. And it is my right as ruler. I have been ordained by God, so I will do what needs to be done. And you will not do, like, it was. And also, like, when she started screaming and getting like banshee like they were in a council meeting one time, and Margaret messed up and called her Sybil instead of Queen Kane, and she was like, who? Like, that is certainly a choice. They said play self-righteous and aggravating to the extreme, and she said, I bet say less. She did it, but wowzers, could I not stand her. Baba Voss, I felt like it was selfish for him to leave in season 2. And I also kind of don't agree with his death. Like, I guess it was needed, but also, could you not have, like, thrown the hammer from a safe distance? Could you not have, like, took an arrow and, like, I guess you could argue that his death was needed, especially since he didn't see a place for him in politics and he just wanted to go back to the mountains, but his family was growing apart to do other things. And I guess, but, like, and I did find it a little selfish because it's like, the best way to protect your family is to be there. Despite the fact that you want to go here, which is fine for him to have those feelings of wanting to go back, but at the same time, it's like, just because we don't want to go back, you leave us? Like, what if, as Margaret, what if I decided that I wanted to get with Harlan to make you mad, or just to be like, oh, if you're gonna leave, you must not love me no more, so I'm gonna go to somebody that actually love, like, then you would have really been mad. She stayed faithful, but like, I got other men over here who are ready and willing to take your place, sir. I just find it a little selfish. Like, I understand it, but I also find it a little selfish. I also understand his death, but it's also like, also they do previously on, which I find that shows mostly don't do anymore. Like, it's been a hot minute since I've seen a show that's done a previously on dot dot dot, and they give you the things. I know shows still do them now, but like, I am finding it rare. Maybe I'm just watching the wrong shows, but I just wanted to point that out because I found it rare. Overall, 8 out of 10. Like, I really like it. I have my problems with the characters and some of the storylines, but overall, I really liked it. I really like it. 8 out of 10. I think it's worth the watch. It's a really cool concept. They do have a couple things that are like really weird in there. Like Sybil, when she prays, her praying is like masturbation. And I just know some man sat there and came up with that and was like, oh, this is gonna be so really good. Because when you think of praying, you think of this, but now we're gonna flip it. And I just know they do a little bit of weird things, but overall, I think it's a really good show. 8 out of 10. I think it's worth a watch if you want to watch something in general, or if you have Apple TV app and you don't even use it and you want to use it. Apple TV's C. 8 out of 10. With that, let's kick it into our third and final segment, Unpopular Opinions, where I give my commentary on an unpopular opinion that I have. Now this one, I don't go here, so maybe I don't have a right to speak on it. I'm gonna do it anyway, though. Not knowing your friend's significant other, I've seen so many comments where it's like, "Oh, I don't have to be friends with my man's friend, with my girl's man, or I don't want to have to know him at all." And I think that's weird. Like, I think it's weird because I think me personally, I'm gonna know everything about you. Now we ain't gotta be friends. Like, I'm not saying y'all gotta be friends or anything, but I think it's weird not to know more than just like formalities and cordial whatnots. Like, you should know. These people be weird out here. You should know. Just short of their social security, you should know. And now, the people make the argument about social media, and you can have social media is not real. It's not real. Like, and this is completely off topic, but seeing like people sit there and post their significant others. The lady was posting pictures with her man, holiday pictures with her man, but he couldn't show his face. Like, girl, is it that serious to show somebody that you got somebody but not see? Like, that's completely off topic, but like social media is not real. So have whatever kind of rules. You can say that it's weird if they follow you on social media. I've learned that about anybody though. Like certain people that I used to be friends with, you don't follow them on every social media because they might not want you to. So whatever. But like, I also find it weird that these be the same people that be like, "Oh, I can't wait till we like have all our little couples goals and friends things, and we do date nights and we'll do game nights with our friends, and they significant other, but you don't know nothing about their significant other. Like, that's not weird to y'all to want to do all these couple nights, game nights and whatnot, dinner, double dates and whatnot, but you don't know nothing about it. I just think it's weird. And that's across the board, across the genders. Like, not even just strictly for men, like across the genders. Like, I think you should know more about your friends' significant others more than just formalities and cordialness. Like, I think you should have conversations with your friends' significant others about what your friend likes, or I don't know. Like, I think it's weird. I don't go here. Like, I don't like people, so I'm not in any type of relationship, which is why I say I don't go here. I don't like people like that, and I don't think it's never really gonna be a problem for me. But I just think it's weird personally. Like, I will see that kind of stuff and it's like, that's not a little weird, especially when y'all be wanting all these date nights and couples games and stuff like you see on TV, but you don't know nothing. On TV, these people be knowing these people. Y'all don't know these people. I feel like you should. You gotta be besties with them, but like, I feel like it should be more than just formalities. But that's just me. That's just my little unpopular opinion. I don't go here, so what do I know? That's just a little unpopular opinion that I have. And that's Kaya's commentary. If you like this episode, be sure to like this episode. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the follow/subscribe button, and the bell so you get notified when new videos drop. Let me know your thoughts on any of the segments that I had down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Be respectful. We can have a conversation with one another, but only if we are respectful. But certainly let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next time.